Welcome to another episode of OG55. I got Mr. Theme Park Wizard, Lucas, Kim, and the Italiano. Today, we're talking about the rivers of America. We're talking Epic Universe, and we're going to talk about really whatever comes up today. It's casual theme park conversation here on OG55. Let's go. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another fantastic, or as Mr. Theme Park Wizard will say, a phantasmic episode of OG55. We're going to talk about the rivers of America. We're going to talk about Epic Universe. There's some Epic Universe ticketing news today. We got all kinds of stuff going on. Wizard is our universal guy. So Wizard, if there's any other universal news that we're not privy to, we can talk about that as well. But before we dive in, I'm going to introduce this fantastic panel. The Italiano and his chest hair is in the house. George, welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. We're both glad to be here as always, and having these great discussions with everyone. It's always a good time.
Absolutely. Where can everybody find you and your chest hair on social media, sir?
Absolutely. You can find us both on social media on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And also check out my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55. There he goes. There he goes. We got Mr. right below Mr. Italiano. We got Mr. Lucas Kim. Lucas, it's always good to have you on the show, brother. Welcome back. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for inviting me again. I'm looking forward to talking about the rivers of America and all kinds of fun stuff that's being revealed by Disney. Yeah,
no controversial topics at all whatsoever.
Oh yeah, of course.
Easy breezy. Easy breezy, man. No controversy at all, right? No controversy at all. Mr. Lucas Film, Lucas Kim, where can everybody find
Lucas Film?
He's George Lucas Film. Oh shit.
we got Mr. Lucas Film in the house, right? Well, we do have George and we do have Lucas. So
oh my gosh, there he is. There's Star Wars. Oh, then everyone's really gonna hate you now.
Yeah.
That's exactly why Kathleen Kennedy is just waiting for me to get that CEO position that she's waiting.
Yeah. Well, Lucas, you got that special access, bro. You know what I'm saying? Use that special access,
Yeah, I almost met her. I mean, I did run into her, except the security guard kind of just pushed me away a little bit. But that's all I know.
Absolutely. Actually, funny story. We were at D23 with thanks to Lucas. I mean, Lucas, again, we can't thank you enough for D23. And we were there with him, and George and I were like, our legs were killing us. So we're like, we're gonna go back to the hotel, chill back there for a little bit. We're in the jacuzzi, kind of healing, and our muscles are all sore. I look on my freaking Twitter, and Lucas Kim, literally since we walked back to the hotel, already met Bob Iger. I'm like, oh my God, we leave for 10 minutes and he's already met Bob Iger. This is awesome. But Lucas, where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on X. It's Lucas Kim. Right? It's just like the name right here. And then also you can find me on Blue Sky. It's Lucas Kim. Same tag right there. And I do have a YouTube. It's Lucas and Disney. And you can also find me on Twitch as a Lucas Kim channel where I play video games. And you might I love horror games. Or even any type of MMORPGs, I also play those type of games.
Absolutely. Make sure you support Lucas Kim, friend of the channel. And thank you, Lucas, for joining us today. And last but certainly not least, we got the one, we got the only Mr. Theme Park Wizard in the house with the Theme Park Wizard hoodie. How are you today, sir?
I'm phantasmic. You can find me on YouTube on Theme Park Wizard, on Park Wizard 1 on X.
Is that an adult channel?
It is 18 and up only. Okay, I'm serious. And then the Instagram Theme Park Wizard and Blue Sky Theme Park Wizard. And if you want to book your trips with me on Theme Park Wizard, you can DM me on Theme Park Wizard. Theme Park Wizard Your Life with themeparkwizard.com. Theme Park Wizard dolls, Theme Park Wizard shirts, I am Mr. Theme Park Wizard Empire. You can live your life with Theme Park Wizard at Theme Park Wizard Planet.
There he is. Make sure if you're
Everyone
planning.
does sound like an adult site. For sure.
Yeah,
Told ya.
absolutely, absolutely. No, Wizard has perfected the flywheel 100%. He has the flywheel down, you know. But yeah, in all seriousness, if you want to book your trip to Disney or Universal, this is your guy right here. So I will link it down below in the description. So make sure you hit Wizard up, whether it be in his DMs, you can slide into his DMs, or you can slide into his email and ask him how to book a trip. Let's go ahead and dive right in to our first topic at hand, which is the totally non-controversial Rivers of America changes. Now, George, yeah, right, exactly. So George and I recently did a video on this, but I wanted to bring Wizard and Lucas into this conversation. There's been a lot of kerfluffle, as they call kerfluffle, over this change, right? Lucas, I'll start with you, man. So we got this footage from South by Southwest, I think it was called, of these ATVs kind of going around a dirt track, and I saw so many people on social media blowing gaskets, they're getting all nervous that this is going to be the attraction, right? This is what they're replacing the Rivers of America with. Do you want to go ahead and give them your opinion on what we're seeing here?
Yeah. So, one of my Imagineer friend on X, Jacqueline Kroll, she actually experienced this on this track, and then she was explaining it on X about how great the experience was, and I actually do believe her. It might be a different type of experience from how you would ride the ATV. Hey, who knows? But what I see, I get that people were saying, "Oh, if you're gonna ride an ATV, then there's a off-road tracks 15 minutes away from Florida or something like that." But if people are gonna say something like that, then my argument is that there are plenty of rivers and plenty of mountains and rivers all around the entire United States or even Canada. Might as well take a flight over there, right? Or just drive 15 minutes away from Disney World. There's already national parks with a bunch of rivers with alligators swimming right next to you. Right. That's another way to look at it if people are going to argue about that.
No, you're right, Lucas. I mean, the argument that why do I need to do this because I can get this experience somewhere else? Well, first of all, this is the issue that I have with that argument is that this isn't even the experience. This was a testing, research and development endeavor that they were just trying to figure out what the experience might feel like. Obviously, they're going to have the beautiful rock work, or not the same rock work, but beautiful rock work that you see in California, similar to that with Radiator Springs Racers. There's going to be all that in this equation. There's going to be obviously themed cars. It's not just ATVs going around a dirt track. And that was one of the issues I had with a lot of these critiques, was that it was sort of the argument was sort of made in a way where it was sort of trying to sell this as the experience itself. Well, this is what you're getting, folks. This is going to be the ride. This is the experience you're going to get. That's going to replace the Rivers of America. No, it's not. We see this stuff all the time. We see, George, we were talking about it, with Imagineering. They have pickup trucks with makeshift vehicles attached to the back, and they ride in the park. They go in circles in the parking lot in Glendale, testing ride vehicles at Imagineering. That's essentially what this is. This is not what the attraction is going to be. This is a data collecting kind of excursion or whatever, right? So the actual experience will be much closer to that we see over here in California with Carsland, which is honestly, in my opinion, one of the greatest things Imagineering has ever done. I love Carsland. I don't even like the franchise. I don't really care about Cars as a franchise, but Carsland is really, really cool.
And so, John Lasseter had all the Imagineers who were working on that project. He strongly encouraged them to take the drive through Route 66, so they can get the feel. So what is that? It's research, right. So they can develop, what to put the Cars world into a real life theme park. That's in a sense what they're doing here. They're using R&D as a way to manipulate what maneuvers and an ATV can do on a dirt path, of how they can take all that data and put it into the ride system, so it's realistic.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and
if
see,
you were
and
to,
that's the that right there is the problem there, because not the R&D, but the fact that see this image here is the type of thing Disney should show like afterwards. Like they should do like a making of series of they made up like making of pirates or making of Tianas and release it after the ride's over, because it's the second time in a row they keep showing the research stuff. At least they don't just show New Orleans and nothing else anymore, because that was even worse. At least they're showing some ride stuff, but still.
sure.
Yeah, show the ride vehicle, and yeah, the amount of people seeing this thing's gonna have a dirt track, and it's gonna be on 8 TV. I mean, are you that stupid? I mean, it's not. Again, they'd say that if you actually listen to the words, unless you just are literally doing it to just like hate on Disney or something. Because I don't believe someone's like that dumb, But
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I feel like the negativity of Disney has been a very trendy thing for at least
yeah.
for about 5 years since the pandemic. That's
Yeah.
just how I see it. And then I think the escalation of negativity started since the change of Splash Mountain. And then that started to fuel up into like a different kinds of things. And then even the Star Wars hating the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it just started like spreading all over the place of and being the company being the sole problem, and then Bob Iger being the sole problem. Yeah, I get that. Josh DeMero is not exactly everyone's favorite, and and then the Walt Disney World CEO Jeff Valley is also definitely not everyone's favorite either.
Yeah.
But like, do we really need to be negative about every single thing, like even the hotel changes, like such as homogenizing, like the changes of the like modernizing some of the hotels? Like, do we have to complain about this every single time? Like, even for the cruise, like I know some people were saying the cruise designs for the treasures were too modernized and they didn't like it and stuff like that. Do we need to complain about the cruise every single time? Like, I see negativity every single time,
Mhm.
but when it comes down to Epic Universe, we haven't seen a single negativity like for Epic Universe until recently about the ticket sales today. Because one of our fellow creator named Wallen Ballin, he just like has been like losing it about the ticket sales that were going haywire, and he was complaining about it all day.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't know that, and we're going to talk about the ticketing later. So I definitely want to. I want to have
Yeah,
a little tea time with you guys
Wallen
on that.
Ball, that was funny. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So totally right, Lucas. There, because and Disney, since now they know that, like you said, it's been 5 years, so they know, so they should learn to, again, let's not try to. Their marketing team or PR team should be like, okay. Let's try to not fuel the fire. The stuff like
Right.
this fuels the fire. You should put all this when the ride's done, because this is
100%.
cool to see. But when like the ride's open, you can make like a making of series on Disney Plus, and then have these cool things. Almost like we call it Imagineering, make another season of that and put the new stuff. Like that would be pretty cool. But this is all you show. And then the toy car. I remember they showed that 3D printed car on the track, and then it was like, oh my gosh, they just 3D printed the thing. And then I think later on this episode, they show like kind of early, super early, like what could the track look like elevation wise, not even the actual track, but the elevation, and it looked like a piece of paper. I'm sure it looked like a piece of paper on purpose, but you don't want to show that, because then, of course, everyone's like, look how cheap this is, a piece of paper. And, so Disney keeps stomping themselves in the foot. And this is not obviously not the first time, the Tiana POV. Why is really such a bad POV of that? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just like they're inviting the hate. They gotta stop doing stuff like this, because it really fuels the fire, and it's very unfortunate. For everyone. But I mean, like, come on, the PR team's got to get a little switch up or some training, because this is not cool.
No,
I mean,
you're
it's
right,
cool, but
Wizard.
it's not cool for everyone else.
Yeah, no,
Like,
100%, Wizard. I agree with you on that, actually. Like, well, I do think there's people out there that are like totally trying to misinterpret what this is, and that's a thing for sure. At the same time, Disney needs to be more aware, more cognizant of the fact that like there are people out there. We talked about this, like this monetized sort of negativity, right? Disney, you're a massive company. You clearly understand this is out there. Why are you giving ammunition to these people. Like you have to be aware that like what you put out there might like energize that whole situation, right? So yeah, there's ways to do it. And our friend Jay Shearer has talked about this a lot when it comes to the PR at Disney, where there's ways you can kind of go about this and there's ways not. I think I think with the Avengers e-ticket, I think they handled that one like much better, because they were actually showing, and I know it's further along in development, obviously, but they were showing like the ride vehicle. They were kind of showing like the projection tech and all that. It was very attraction focused. I think with this Carsland stuff, it's like, this is okay, but I think what you need to do is sort of bring also a little bit more of the actual attraction, because I agree with you, Wizard. One of the big reasons why I think one of the big issues with like Tiana's is a great attraction. I went on there first time with Wizard and our friend Jalen, his beautiful family. It was a great time, but Disney really sold that attraction short. You know, they didn't do it any favors when they did all these research trips, and they didn't give us any goodies, right? They didn't give us any of the, like, there's a lot in that attraction that's really awesome stuff, Disney, and you didn't give any of that. You were just kind of focusing on these research trips, and the research trips fueled the like conspiracy theories and all the BS out there. So yeah, you're right, Wizard. The PR at Disney, they need to improve that. They need to be more aware of what they're putting out there, because it's very easy. Disney is, you know, a target, and you have to be aware that like what you put out there could easily be misconstrued. And then once it's on the internet, the narrative, people can just run with it. You know what I'm saying?
I do agree with that to an extent, but I feel like Disney is in a position where they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Because right now, the Cars, just speaking for the Cars project, I do agree with Tiana's. I think Tiana's was so further down the pipeline of not getting any kind of details and just getting like the New Orleans trips or the Bayou Mist. You know, that's all that we were getting. You know, I wish that we got more out of that. As far as
which is funny with the Bayou Mist, by the way. Every time we go on the attraction, I don't even notice it, so I don't know why.
Yeah, actually, it moves so fast when you go down. It's like it just like it's
I made it seem like it was everywhere, and I was like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just this one spot." That was nothing else.
I missed it. Oh well, I'll check it out the next time. But for this particular project, it's not as far down the path as it is. So for Disney to at least show us something that they're working on and how they're working on, I feel is progress for them, because if they don't show anything, then people are going to be online. Then Disney's given them ammunition to say, oh, we're not getting no word on nothing. We got the announcement back in D23, but we haven't heard anything of what they're doing. Look how we're even saying about Avatar and Coco. We got absolutely nothing about them right now. We're saying we want something. Give us something. And honestly, the people that are bitching and complaining about this are people that are in this semicircle of understanding how Disney works. These people aren't normies that are coming in and they're like, oh, well, what is this? I'm sorry, if you consider yourself a Disney fan and you don't already know how WDI works already, then you need to go back and do some more homework, because this is the stuff that Walt Disney Imagineering does. They do R&D stuff. Now, mind you, I do know that Disney used to show things after the fact it's working.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're in a time right now with social media that everybody wants something right now. And
also,
in order for Disney to show something, sometimes it has to be while they're still in the early stages of creating it.
Yeah, there you go. Wizard, what say you?
I was gonna say also, because George talking about if you're a Disney fan, adding that, if you're a Disney fan and somehow hoping for a recession so the project gets canceled, that's what I just want to say. That's ridiculous.
That's really, really not okay. I mean, you have real people's livelihoods on the line here. I mean, to sit there and wish that like for a recession and people putting food on their table. This is an attraction in a theme park. It's not that serious, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
So about this, because they presented this video, and then one of our Imagineer who shared that she loved the experience and everything, she ended up getting massive backlash and harassments towards her and like saying that she's the problem to the social, that they're getting this right and everything. And then she ended up locking her account, obviously, but my biggest problem is this. Imagineers are just workers. They love what they do. They design all this just for the guests like us, customers like us. And I think it's very disrespectful towards the Imagineer workers by harassing them and then telling them that they're at the fault when it's actually the board members and then the lead, the people who are above, like Bob Iger's, respond is their call at the end of the day. And then Imagineers are there to satisfy us and then to give us the best experience that we could ever have right there.
Well, it even happened with Kim Irvine. At the time when they were adding the Disney characters into It's a Small World, she was getting threats. She had to actually have, I believe, she had a security system installed at her house. Because she was getting a bunch of threats just because they were implementing Disney characters in It's a Small World. It's
See, that bothers me, bro, like on so many levels, because here's the thing, like as a Disney fan, I want Disney to take us seriously, and I don't I want them to like listen to our feedback and be in a constructive way. And when you have like literal crazies like out there threatening an Imagineer, that's not okay. And that's like sick in the head. And then what happens is that like Disney now kind of associates the diehard Disney fan as like these wackos. They're not doing the fandom any favors with that crap. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on, let's be more constructive. I mean, you can voice your opinion. You can say what you don't like. You can vote with your wallet, which is the most important thing, to be honest with you. Which rarely anybody ever does now, But yeah, but with the whole Kim Irvine thing, like she had to go through all that. Like you made her feel unsafe, like over what? Over characters in Small World that you barely even fucking notice.
It's just not even a big deal now. They look totally fine.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this, I would like to address this to the people who are harassing and hurting these Imagineers who do nothing but doing the best for us right here. That goes the same for the cast members. If anybody does like this type of harassment, then you're not a Disney fan. That's just how I see you as. That's just it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't be. You should. I mean, as a human being, you shouldn't be treating people like that. You can dislike a project, but to sit there and harass someone on Twitter because you don't like the project or this, that, and the other, that's not okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, not to mention, they get paid really less than a lot of them, like an average engineer, like salary workers, and they go extra miles to do this. Why? Because they love Disney. They love going to work. They work so hard to get to that company, to be in the company that they've dreamed of working in. But to have somebody saying that, oh, you don't belong there, and then and starts harassing you and everything, like it crushes their dreams. Like they're gonna think to themselves, I've worked my ass off to be right here so I can make everyone else happy. But if somebody says like that to me, what's the point of working? That's just how I see it.
Yeah, no, it's not okay. I mean, a lot of these Imagineers are like you were saying, Lucas. A lot of them, these projects are not their idea. So, what was the gal's name that you were referring to, Lucas? It was
Jacqueline Kroll.
Jacqueline Kroll. Like, she's not the one who greenlit this project. She's not the one who, told Bob Iger we're going to do this. Like, why are you taking it out on her? I don't know what she said on Twitter, but she is just an Imagineer who's in charge of creative elements. Why is this all her fault? I don't understand that.
And that's the thing. She only said, this was a fun experience. That's all she said. Nothing else. She rode the ATV and that was it. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, you're part of the project that's gonna destroy my favorite river. I'm like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. And here's another thing. Like, has Disney actually destroyed any type of ambience when they create something new? Is my question. Have they? Because I don't remember doing that. Because if you go to Pandora, you see a lot of ambience right there. Mm-hmm. If you go to Galaxy's Edge, even if you hate Batu, there's still ambience of decorations all over the place. There's not a single park that they missed out just to only throw in a roller coaster rail into their parks.
Right. And I want to show you guys something real quick here. Hopefully I can get it up here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is courtesy of the Disney Tourist blog. I see a lot of people complaining, oh, we're getting cartoon cars replacing the rivers of America. You know, the aesthetics is gone. You're not going to get this exact thing, but you're getting a version of this. So this whole idea that you're losing natural, quote unquote, natural beauty, because even the rivers of America isn't natural beauty. Let's be honest. It was a man-made thing, right? You're getting a version of this. I'm sorry. I have a hard time sympathizing with this, where it's like, oh, they're gonna cement over the river. Yeah, and you're gonna get this. You're gonna get some version of it. This is gorgeous. Like, what's the problem? You're not losing aesthetics. You're gonna get. I mean, they're taking basically Carsland in California, and they're taking Grizzly Peak, that national park vibe, and they're smushing it together into something into one cohesive piece here. It's probably going to be freaking gorgeous. Now, here's the thing. If it sucks, we'll be on here and I will gladly say I was wrong and that it sucks and that looks terrible, but I really don't think it will. I really don't. I think it's going to be okay, you guys, you know, and
keep in mind that this land here has one waterfall. So imagine what they'll do with the Grizzly Peak vibe, but that has tons of water action in Grizzly Peak. And so I'm sure this new Cars area will have tons of water fountains and like waterfalls and streams, and just the Carsland vibe should be pretty cool. Who knows? Maybe it has more water overall than the river in different places. You know?
Yeah, no, well said, Wizard. Well said. Yeah, it's a great point. And the thing too is that I think that, like, you know, a lot of folks have been saying, and I understand this. They're like, oh well, you know, as a Californian, you wouldn't want your river to be gone. But see, here's the issue I have with that is that it's not the same thing. It's not oranges to oranges, right? I've said this in many videos, but not everyone watches every video. But like, the rivers of America at the Magic Kingdom doesn't hold the same significance or the same importance as the one at Disneyland. Disneyland has Fantasmic, the Columbia, the Mark Twain, the direct connection to Walt Disney. That's a different animal
and the canoe.
And the canoes, exactly. A different animal than that of the one in the Magic Kingdom. So it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? And I will, on the flip side, when they decided to retheme Tower of Terror here at DCA, I was like, yeah, let's do it because we need it. Our Tower of Terror was like the diet version. It was lesser than the one in Florida. I wouldn't want them to retheme the one in Florida, though. So just because it's the same thing on each coast doesn't mean that the same rules apply. I don't want them to retheme the one in Florida to Mission Breakout because I think that one, yeah, because that one's a superior version. Ours was not. Same thing goes for the Rivers of America. Like, Magic Kingdom never had an amazing Rivers of America, not like the one at Disneyland. It's a different thing, you know what I'm saying? So you can't really compare the two things, you know? Go ahead, Lucas.
Yeah, so here's the thing about I think we as a Disney fans have been spoiled by like thinking that, you know, if one park has something, we have to have exactly the same thing on the other side of the park. I think that's the type of mentality has like kind of like stuck in our head for a while. And I think, you know, I used to have that type of mind as well too. And then until Tron, you know, the life cycle has completely changed my mind about how I felt about it, because it's fun experience, but to have it exactly like Shanghai-land Disneyland was not what I expected. I was like hoping for, you know, a little bit more intensity or something like that. And I think that was like the biggest disappointment. And then from there on, my expectation and mentality, I don't think you know, having an identical type of rides in each park is a good idea, because it loses my interest of wanting to go to different parks at the end of the day, you know. And
right. In Magic Kingdom, like from a Disneyland local perspective, Magic Kingdom was like my least favorite. Like, out of all the Magic Kingdom park, I mean, out of all the Disney World parks, Magic Kingdom was my least favorite because Disneyland just kind of stands on its own. Disneyland is a kind of a unique animal. I feel like Disney really does need to sort of reinvent the Magic Kingdom and sort of separate it from Disneyland and sort of make it feel less. Like right now, it feels like live action Disneyland, right? So what do you do to fix that? You reinvent the park where it's very much of a different experience. So you do the Cars land, you do the Villains land. That is like, okay, that's a game changer. Right now, you have a totally different experience than that of Disneyland. That's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? But right now, it kind of feels like a lesser version of Disneyland. So I think this is going to pay off. I think it's going to be fine. Also, I think a lot of the, like in our community, like our little tight circle of like Disney nerds, we see a lot of complaining, but the normies don't care. The normies want the Cars thing. Believe me, they want the Cars thing. They want the villains. They want all that stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah, so I actually have another thing to add. A good friend of ours, OG Orangebird from X, has actually pointed out something, and he actually is looking forward to the Cars Land as well too. But he's also disappointed that Rivers of America is being removed. So he was talking about. I do agree with him that Disney World has a thing where they want to cut budgets from like building as much as possible. Like from expanding the land or whatsoever. So in order to cut the budget, they would just like replace with something,
right?
But at a high expense. I do agree with that part because Disney World's ticket prices have increased, and and then the absurd lightning lane, like no reservation time for $400 per person. I just find that to be a little bit ridiculous, but I think that the management of Disney World does need some kind of a fix when it comes down to a price management, and then also certain damage control when it comes to the food, and then and then like the guest handling, and then also the disability, DSA, I think, or DAS,
yeah.
I think that also needs to be managed and fixed properly for when it comes down to Walt Disney World.
And I will add on to that as well, kind of playing on both sides, because I'm only half pixie duster on my mom's side. So
I want to know about your dad's side then.
What's on your dad's side, bro? Come on now.
So for me, I feel like also too what Disney did, even though I understand the lingo of what they were saying about park expansion, but a lot of people, when you hear expanding the park, there's going to be our biggest expansion in Magic Kingdom history, you're automatically thinking you're going outside of the berm and expanding through. You're not really thinking of, okay, they're replacing something to put something in. So as far as like walking path goes, that is an expansion because you can't walk on the rivers of America.
Well, and ride capacity. It's like an expansion,
right?
Like capacity,
exactly.
But
I think just like in that instant when we hear like Bruce Vaughn say, this is going to be the biggest expansion in Magic Kingdom history. Oh, what's going to be beyond Big Thunder? You're thinking of that expansion pad and behind it that nothing else is going to be replaced. So just playing devil's advocate there, even though I understood.
And I totally agree. By the way, that's because someone on X said called me out for that, but I said no. If it was up to me, I would build the Cars and the Villains on that nice big grassy area, like you said, beyond the berm, and make it an actual acreage expansion. I get it's more money to do that because you have to make the land buildable. So I understand why they didn't, but someone said I hope for it to be paid for. Like, no, I understand it. If I was in charge, I'd pony up the extra cash and develop the perimeter and make it a nice full circle and keep the rivers, or like they did with Disneyland, shorten the river, like how they did with the Our Galaxy's Edge and shorten it. But but they didn't do that. So I don't want to. If it's that or nothing, I'll choose the 4 attractions. But too bad they didn't just cut off the top, because they have a bigger river, so they could just easily top off the river and just add the 2 lands there.
Just had a good old fashioned circumcise.
That's right. Get a little circumcised, but I know it's a lot of money. And according to Bill Zanotti, a nice, that seems like a current imaginary. I guess the river has a lot of maintenance issues that I guess he has. Mr. Jeff Volley doesn't want to pony up the money to fix.
Yeah,
So
they just could
I
have
get
just
it, but
they could have just snipped the tip, but
yeah,
it's-
exactly.
Well, yeah, and Wizard, I'm glad you brought that up because, like, yeah, I think there's a lot of these other elements too involved, like you were saying, like with the maintenance of the river and things like that come into these decisions for sure. Yeah, like in an ideal world, yeah, I think everyone would probably rather just keep what we have and then just kind of like just add, and I think a lot of these internal discussions, like, okay, well, the river, the water systems are failing, or it's going to cost X amount of dollars to fix those water systems. Is it worth fixing that? Should we just get rid of it? And then, it's, so there's all these discussions are kind of happening behind the scenes, but it's interesting. But I do think too, though, to Wizard's point earlier with the PR, I think I don't necessarily disagree with too many of the decisions, but it is a PR issue where Disney doesn't handle like the public relation part of it very well. Like, for example, I think like with the whole thing with D23, Josh gets up there on stage. He's like, yeah, we're going to give you the Carsland, right? And then, like, I think it was like that Monday or something, wasn't it, George?
Yeah.
He comes out. Then they release in a press release, it's replacing the Rivers of America. Like, come on, Josh. That's a little dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a way to handle it where it doesn't seem so like ick. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Lucas. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, so I've actually met Jeff Valley in the D23 Expo during the Imagineering panel right there.
Who didn't you meet at D23?
He met everybody.
He was like, "Are you having fun?" And I said, "Yes." And then I'm like, and he's like, "Have you been to Walt Disney World?" And I'm like, way more than Disneyland. That's what I said. And he's like, good. There's going to be really big things coming for Disney World. And I'm like really good, or how much are we talking about here? He's like, it will blow your mind away. But obviously, when Josh Romero revealed it, I think it really did blow everyone's mind away in a like some positive way, and some definitely negative way. A lot of people, except Braden from the Mickey Views. I think he already predicted this to happen anyway, so he didn't really get surprised too much. But yeah, for me, I think that like this announcement really didn't have a lot of like good expectations from certain amount of people. And speaking about this, I know like Wizard said, there might be some way to keep the rivers and everything. And one of the former Imagineers, Eddie Soto, actually drew a concept art. I actually sent an image. Yeah, I actually sent an image to OG privately, but like he drew a concept where you can keep the Carsland, Villains Land, and then also the rivers, and building up a bridge that links to the Tom Sawyer's Island. And like basically the rivers are cut into like a smaller part, but everyone gets to keep the Rivers of America. They still keep the Tom Sawyer's Island, and then you can also get the Cars attractions. He drew that. A lot of people gave it like a positive feedback about it, but and then at the same time, Bill Zanetti was like kind of disagreeing with it and saying that that can't happen because of the water. The flooding situation, blah blah blah. There was like a heated conversation about it. But
oh my gosh! Now, what do you guys think about this idea of like retired Imagineers? I'll start with you, Wizard. Like, on your thoughts on this. Like, what are your thoughts, Wizard? Like, and I'll go around the panel. But like, what are your thoughts on this idea of like a retired Imagineers kind of chiming in and like kind of criticizing the current crop of Imagineers? For me personally, it kind of rubs me a little bit the wrong way. Not that the Imagineers can't have an opinion, because they absolutely can. They're right to their opinion. It just feels a little, I don't know, man. It just feels a little, for me personally, like there's like a decorum sort of thing, that like an unspoken like respect that you kind of don't go there. But I mean, that's just me. I don't know. What do you think, Wizard?
Yeah, I think, like I said, they can definitely have an opinion. And I think if they don't like something, the design of what the current Imagineers are doing, they should go in and like advise them, not like bash them online or anything. They should go like, hey, advise things. Also, a lot of these guys consider old, right? The design choices change from like 1955 and stuff, so it won't. You
Right.
can't like make exactly the same thing, because like just like the other thing, everything's trendy, so there's different design. Even in the theme park world, there's different trends and stuff, right? So things can't be the same as they were like in 1975. But as long as I'm okay with the Imagineers, I guess not bashing their work, but if it was like a company decision, like a Lightning Lane, or man, I wish like the location of the Carsland was not Rivers of America. Here's an alternative like Eddie Soto did. That's fine.
That's cool.
Just the people like Jim Scholl, he seems to like always say negative things about Disney, and then it turns it's just one of those other. It's basically like a higher level person just jumping on the the anti-Disney bandwagon. At that point, I don't even look at him as Imagineer anymore. I just look at him as one of those other people who say negative things about everything, and then he always says something good about Universal, though. So thank you, Jim. But
Oh, okay. Okay. So the only reason you're praising him is because of Universal. Okay,
Jim's always says something bad about Disney. So I'm like, I just look at him as one of those anti-Disney people. But Eddie's kind of like balanced. I see him saying,
Yeah.
like,
Well, what they always
he
say.
made like that river thing. He made a nice compromise. So I think he's okay. But some of the other ones, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they
be
always say,
balanced.
always end the insult positively.
That's right.
Yeah, no, but you're right, Wizard. There's a way to do it. There's a way to be constructive about the critiques, right? Like if you offer a alternative, like Eddie was doing, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would agree with you. We did mention Jim Shaw on our last video about the Rivers of America. It's like, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, he does that. He kind of gets on these things where he's kind of going after the company like quite a bit, where it's almost like, okay, Jim, you know what I'm saying? And it's not the most constructive.
Yeah, it's not like he's not offering an alternative. It's just like, man, well, here at Disney, and he tried the way he says it. It's funny. Yeah, his captions always seem to be so professional, like intellectual, but it's really just an insult. Nobody's trying to sound so like professional and like, here, look at my high IQ, but. It's really just an old grumpy man,
Yeah, exactly. Get off my lawn, you young whippersnappers, But what are your thoughts on that, Lucas, in terms of like the old school, the old guard sort of critiquing the new guard?
I have a lot of things to say about Jim Show, but let's start with Eddie. Eddie's a very I have nothing but good things to say about Eddie. He is a very respectful former Imagineer. He loves the new normies, and he also loves the old generation. He's very passionate. He already expressed himself that he refuses to go back to Disney because he loves his current job and he makes more money. So he did ask the old fans to stop bothering him about that, because old fans are like tagging him and Tom Morris and Jim Show and Joe Rohde, all of them to come back to do this thing again.
And shout out to Joe Rohde, because I know he goes back. He mentors the current Imagineers sometimes. So good for him. Like, see, he's another good one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll talk about Joe Rohde as well too eventually. But Eddie is a very good man. Tom Morris, he just doesn't even respond. He just like doesn't care about anybody.
Yeah,
he just stays out of this whole like drama right there. But
Smart
people, the old generation still tag him. He's like, go back to the like whatever. And then Jim Show, I love the man only because he just likes to flare up, like rage bait people to do certain things right there. One of the rage bait that he actually brought up was Epcot's French Pavilion with the Remy's Ratatouille area in the backside, saying that the roofs and then the floors were not exactly the same as France. And then I think that sparked up some really heated conversation right there, to a point that like, if you want to go to if you want to experience that type of stuff, go to France, not over here, kind of thing. That brought into the discussion right there, and he does say something nice once in a while about Disney, just like
I liked when he said the Tianas, how the foil is just gonna fly over to downtown Orlando and the wind.
Oh my
God. That was a good one. That was classic Jim Scholl right there. Classic Jim. You gotta love that. That was classic, bro.
And then Also, Joe Rody, very lovely man. I love this man. Very respectful man. And I'm pretty sure George is gonna ask like, who didn't you meet at the D23 Expo? I actually met Joe Rody as well too.
Doesn't surprise me.
um, he's now working for Tropical Americas and building the whole Indiana Jones temple, based on the Mayan civilization, and everyone's excited for it because it's Joe Rody, the genesis and creator of Animal Kingdom. Like when he says "Let there be light," the Animal Kingdom and the Tree of Life came up as a "Let there be light" right there. This man did everything in that his passion into that park right there. And when somebody asks questions, he doesn't disagree with people, and he doesn't like engage in an argument. And yeah, he respects Disney as a company to a point that he doesn't criticize the Disney's direction right there. He expresses like certain things that he tries to keep it as respectful as much as possible right there.
Yeah.
And if somebody complains about Disney, he doesn't even respond to that either. He just leaves it alone. And to this day, he refuses to answer about the Yeti at the Mount Everest.
I got a little bone to pick with Mr. Joe Rody about that. So before I have to say, literally when Lucas you mentioned like all these people that he met, I find it so fascinating that OG and I were gone for like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Or so, like an hour and a half or something. Within that hour and a half, Lucas succeeded in meeting every single branch of the Walt Disney Company.
I'm literally in the jacuzzi at the Anaheim main gate looking at my phone, and Lucas Kim is taking selfies with Bob Iger. I'm like, this man is doing it.
You guys left at the wrong hour.
Dude, we left at the wrong hour. George, I was like, George, why did we leave? This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. But go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
But I do have to say, much love and respect to Jim Shaw, Eddie Soto, Joe Rody. I have very high respect for them for what they did for the company, what they did for the theme parks, and I feel like that they come from a generation that, when you work a certain way for how many years in a company, that's the way, that they see through the optic lens, just like
Thank you.
Just like with people like, in the older generation, they don't know what's going on with iPhones and
they have no idea who Kendrick Lamar is.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, you say Kendrick, bro.
Hi. Must have on the beat.
There you go. You did that on purpose, didn't you, Wizard?
Yes, I did.
There you go. Go ahead, Italiano.
So I can understand.
Woke up looking for the broccoli.
There you go. Sorry, bro. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, bro.
You're good. So I can understand through their.
Woke up.
Hit the button.
I was kidding. Go ahead, bro. I'm serious now. Hands are off the roadcaster.
I don't know why. I was like waiting for it, and it was like I paused. But I could respect them.
Mustard.
But I could respect them for like how they feel about certain things. That's fine. But when like what's going on through social media now, and when you go and you spark and ignite that fire even more, especially because you were part of that history of Imagineering, so you're like, well, this is what back in my day we didn't do it this way, we did it that way. And then you have people kind of following them like the scriptures of the Bible, and it's like, oh well, this is coming from Jim Scholl, this is coming from so and so they must be right. The newer generation of Imagineering doesn't know what the hell they're doing, and it's like then it sparks a whole debate and controversy and everything. But okay, so now my little bone to pick with Mr. Joe Rody. Dude, I love you to death. What you did with Animal Kingdom, pure genius. What you did with Alani, pure genius. But I have to say, I'm a bit disappointed that you broke your promise to us, because I was at D23 back in 2013. I was in that auditorium when you said to us, at some point, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I will fix the Yeti. You made that promise, dude, back in 2013. So I'm calling you out on it because I know Disney. I know you're listening. I got rid of the red car trolley. I got the last verse of Richard Sherman's "It's a Small World" going in on the 70th. And my gosh, I'm throwing it out there. Disney, get in touch with Joe Rohde because he needs to fix that Yeti.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He needs to fix the Yeti. He needs to fix it. Absolutely. Come on. And right now, to their credit, I think, Wizard, you talked about it in one of the recent videos you did with us here on the channel, where like they've been fixing a lot of stuff lately, Disney. Like the Rise of the Resistance cannons, the little drippy effect and Tower of Terror, things like that. Like,
And
come
they
on,
fixed
like
the Tiana animatronic.
yes, they fixed Tiana animatronic. Like let's put the cherry on top of that and just do the Yeti now. Like let's go balls to the wall, as George said.
I absolutely. And honestly, by them adding the Tropical Americas with Encanto and Indiana Jones, hopefully, and maybe a Pandora expansion, maybe down the road, give us something that can give us more to do in Animal Kingdom, so they can offset to closed on Expedition Everest or a lengthy refurbishment, so they could fix the Yeti, because the only way they have to literally crack open the mountain. And that's going to take time. That's going to take money.
Style.
Yep, basically.
Crack it open. Now, Wizard, you have not been to Animal Kingdom yet, right?
I have one time.
Oh, you have? Okay. It's been a while though.
Yes, since I was a little boy.
Little baby Wizard.
He went when tickets were still only $35.
Probably because when I went there, they had the big hat in front of the Disney's MGM. It was still called Disney's MGM Studios, and they had the big
wow! So you went okay?
Oh, that's a prehistoric line right there.
And check this out. Okay, so they had at the time they had like a Narnia movie walkthrough. Okay, so
yes, I've done that. Yes, and that I think that was the same building after they took Narnia out. They put in that Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean experience too.
Whatever happened, real quick, I know we're going off on a major tangent. We're going to get into Epic Universe in just a second, but George, you're like our Disney World. You and Lucas are like our Disney World experts here. Whatever happened to like Adventures in Wonderland, the show on the Disney Channel, which I loved, and the MMC, the Mickey Mouse Club, like where they film those shows? Are those sound stages gone now?
Those I believe are gone, because they were right off of what used to be called Mickey Avenue. Where they used to have like the trailers and everything that took you into the backlot area, because those sound stages were part of the backlot experience, where you could actually be part of the audience, or you can pass through like as they were filming production. So that no longer exists. That is now part of Toy Story Land, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yes, OG Slinky Dog Dash is where you're at, right?
A Slinky Dog, I used to love those shows. That's sad to me. I mean, that's sad. That's really sad.
Well, then why don't you go complain about it on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm gonna send a firm email. I'm gonna send a firm email to Disney management about that. Absolutely.
Bring that back. Save
message Jim Scholl. That'll be his next YouTube video.
There you go. Save the studios. Come on, let's do it. Let's email them.
Instructions below.
Instructions below. Exactly, Wizard. Okay. I love it. So let's go ahead and dive into some Epic Universe. So there was some news today, right? Single day tickets went on sale today, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Wizard.
Single day and 2-day tickets went on sale today at 2 a.m. Pacific time. Oh boy.
And I have a question for you, Wizard. Now, when
you want to buy something from me?
There's a black market going on right here.
Single-day tickets. Are there still availability for opening day or opening week, or are
So
those?
this is very interesting. The single day tickets actually they started in June, so there's no single day. And they were never available for May. People were curious about that, and I was too. But then I got the press release on the media thing from Universal, and they said, yeah, so starting from June 1st are these tickets. So I guess the opening weeks are reserved for those vacation packages type ordeals going on there. I will take this time to let you all know that June is sold out if you go in the regular queue, but I have plenty of June available tickets on my TA site. But I'm serious. If you go on or BioReconstruct posted actually, June
I told you this is a black market.
General admission is sold out for June. So if you want a June ticket, you know where to go.
You know where to go. And I will be linking his information in the description. So go to Wizard. Absolutely. I'm actually going to go to Wizard tomorrow for some fan
That's
fest.
right.
I'm so jealous right now. Oh my god.
Lucas, come on. How fast can you get to California, bro?
Never, because as of right now, like my dreams of wanting to go back to California has been like put into a hold right now. But all I can say is that like I'm already like feeling I can already taste that salt like in my mouth that you guys are going to FanFest and get to experience One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen, all those kind of get-go.
Don't worry, Lucas. I know about that salty taste in the mouth.
I was going to say, George probably feels that salty taste every day.
Salty George, Salty George. Yeah, no, FanFest looks to be an incredible event. Go ahead, Wizard.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, with the 1 day tickets, I know there's quite the struggle. I know a lot of people are on the phone lines when the hour-long phone line waits, an hour-long queue time waits till the queue was paused. And I will stress how important this is. When the queue was paused, I was plugging everybody on those Twitters and messaging them, and I got all their tickets within 5 minutes when they're stuck in the queue. Don't do that, people. Come through me. We have a separate bucket of tickets, so we have no wait.
You know, every time when he keeps bringing it up, I'm like thinking of the movie scene from the Jingle All the Way where Arnold Schwarzenegger tries to get like a Turbo Man, and then this like shady guy, like the elf guy, like it brings him into the backside of the little factory, and then like you're selling for a cheaper price in cash, and then turns out that it's a Mexican version of the Turbo Man.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah, don't waste your time on the phone. What you gonna do? Go to Wizard. Go to Wizard. He'll handle it for you. Don't waste your time on that phone.
But Georgie, he doesn't need any because he'll be there opening day, won't he?
I will be. I will be there, boots on the ground, and it's gonna let the chaos begin because I'm very curious to see how operations is going to be, how everything is going to be managed. Do we have to get into a queue line to even get through the portals? You know, can we just nonchalantly just walk in and walk out? You know, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm also very curious if you told Abby that you're taking me instead. You tell her?
Oh,
Abby, where you at? Wait, you know it's funny. He actually was like napping here on the cot.
Hey, Abby. OG is
sorry, Abby. You're going on the cruise, but you're gonna have to fly home afterwards because OG is going to Epic.
I'm going to Epic. I'm going to Dark Universe, baby. I'm going to Dark Universe.
I will be going on August with the help of Wizard. That's
right, because I booked his ticket for him. He had no stress, and I booked everything. He got the 3 park, 1 park per day plus Epic Universe day package.
What can I say? Black market actually.
Grand Helios Hotel. That's right. We'll be at the Grand Helios, everybody. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Absolutely.
George, where are you staying? You told me, but I forgot.
Cabana Bay.
Great. Well, let me upgrade you to Grand Helios, man.
Come on, let's get it done, George. Let the man upgrade you. Let the man upgrade you. That's
you know,
awesome.
Do it. I'm
It's
gonna use the Jedi mind trick on you.
it was actually funny because I was considering on thinking of like moving closer to one of the Epic Universe hotels just to get that full experience. See, but here's the problem. Every time I say something like that in front of Wizard, like in like 5
George,
minutes,
check
I'll
your
get a
email.
notification like saying like,
Yeah, no,
Come on,
absolutely.
George. Don't you want to wake up in the morning after you had your salt for the morning and then go ahead and look at Celestial Park and the fountains from your floor to ceiling window? Just don't walk around naked because then the park people can see you. Okay.
Okay. Hold on a second. Like when you, I mean, I remember like going over to Helios hotel with OG and George, but I was not imagining the naked part right there. Now,
Yes, that's a valid concern. If someone walks around naked and doesn't forget that their windows open, you
I
can.
don't know, like with me, that's an extra perk for anyone who's got a ticket that day.
Oh man,
Epic Universe with the side of George.
with a side George, Epic George. Do you live up to the epic name, George? If you were to do that, I mean, would people go, "Oh, that's an epic guy," or would they be disappointed?
No, I actually think I would fall into that epic category probably more than what a lot of people are thinking about Celestial Park. So I'll add a little extra
Well,
flair.
be careful, George, because if you're too epic and Wallen Ballin sees it, he's gonna race right up to your room.
oh god.
Okay, I gotta ask you, what happened with Wallen Ballin today? Let's have a little tea time. What happened with that, with the tickets, Wizard? What's going on, brother?
I mean,
well, it was his first criticism. He said a universal bosh this ticket release of all the epic tickets, and, and he was talking about it all day. That was so funny. But yeah, I know it's funny. They did drop the tickets unannounced this morning, and then they announced it later on in the morning. But it was available like very early in the morning, and then they did with all of them, and no real heads up. The date was like a last minute decision because I heard something was going to be announced today on Monday, but then it switched and got delayed, and then it was confirmed last night. So yeah, it was a really weird ticket rollout for the whole thing. Very last minute decisions over there. It's very interesting. And Wallen Ballin was talking about it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he
Okay.
was balling while he's talking about it.
also at the same time he was actually crashing out a little bit right there because people were saying that he's trying to get like a media pass or something like that, and he did not take that very well.
See, I didn't see that part.
And he says that this is what he says, and some people have been asking. I'll say this one more time for the people in the back. I do not ask for media passes. I do not want a media pass. I would refuse a media pass if offered. I just love theme parks. That's it. I have my own career that I'm very happy with, but it's stressful. So this hobby is my release and my escape. All I care about is building a fun-loving community of a fellow passionate theme park fans who can discuss an incredible and awesome experience that bring people together. I will always enjoy lifting up others in the community who are aspiring influencers who want the media race, but I'm not going to be taking part in that game myself. It's way more fun this way. And with that, epic times and memories await. That's what he said in the very last statement.
Well, if he doesn't
Wallen Ballin. I love that name.
want,
God, I can say it all day.
I respect that I personally.
No, I do too. Yeah, how like that he, the way that he put it and everything. I give him kudos for it. But as I said, if he doesn't want that media pass, I'll take it.
Yeah, come on, Wallen. And I must say, because he is also on one of the Discord channels I'm in, and he wasn't lying about that stressful job. He does have actually a very stressful job. So I'm glad he has enough time to tweet and get enjoyment out of Epic Universe and nothing else.
Here's the thing. All the time, he and I always like clashing with each other on social media. He and I disagree with each other a lot. For some reason, he has not blocked me, but he followed me
because he loves you and respects you.
And then I followed him back because he for some reason, I guess it's like a love and hate relationship right there.
Yes, no, absolutely. I do follow Wallen Ballin, and
you gotta have him on.
Yeah, well,
have a disagreement You know, you
What?
can't have a disagreement. You can have different viewpoints, but you still can follow someone and have a conversation. Who knew?
Yes.
You know.
No,
Yeah,
100%.
no.
That's the thing, you know. Like I get that he rage baits a lot, but I love his passion. I love that he loves this park as much as anybody else, and I get that he gets a little bit too overhyped, but
Yeah.
I love the fact that he it doesn't stop him from being passionate about it,
Th-
and that's the
well
thing.
said.
Mhm.
Well said. Well said. And I said this before too. Like passion is a cool thing. It's cool to be passionate about anything, you know. And even if you're passionate about sports, I don't care about sports, but if you're passionate about it, that's awesome.
Or
dude.
hey, passionate about saving Magic Kingdom, you know.
Go be passionate
Oh
about it, right?
no,
Yeah.
we're not going there. We're not going there.
You know, I mean, come on, you know. Yeah, no, Wallen Ballin, he follows me. I follow him back. I've never had any kind of negative interactions with him, but I haven't really been on X that active. I'm in the DMs with these guys, but I don't really like interact in the timeline that much. But I mean, he seems like he's okay. Like he just loves this park, I think, and he gets overly excited about it or whatever. But you know, I think he's overall pretty harmless.
No, I'd honestly buy an opening if I could get an opening day ticket to Epic Universe, not just the Epic Universe, but just see Wallen Ballin's reaction when he enters Epic Universe. That's worth the price of admission alone. And George, you're the only one with us that has an opening day ticket, so I need you to find Wallen Ballin and tell us his reaction on May 22nd, because I gotta see it. I have to see it. If he's not passed out on the floor, then I'll be disappointed.
Well, that's the thing, Wizard, right? Universal did this, I think, recently, right? Did this thing where they were following around the Universal Creative members with their first like expression of like walking into the park, right?
Mm-hmm.
Universal, reach out to Wallen Ballin. We need we need a real-time reaction of Wallen Ballin walking into this park. Universal, come on now.
I think even the people that don't like him will still be. I bet they're kind of curious to see.
When I'm down there, I'll do my old fashioned. Where's Wallen?
Where's Wallen?
Oh my god.
Where's Wallen? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
I'm gonna tweet right now. I'm gonna be like, Wallen Ballin, please take a video of yourself entering Wallen Epic Universe.
There we go.
Okay, so I think we did talk about the Save the Magic Kingdom, but I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about that whole the trendy thing going right now? I know that those the people who are part of the campaign has been sending massive amount of emails to the Disney Parks administration right now.
Yeah,
and then also the Florida government. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure. Like I feel like this is a little bit getting out of hand type of situation right here.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling that's CFTOD, Central Florida Tourist Oversight District. I don't even know why they keep that name so long, but like I feel like they just like throw those letters away now, and like at this point they're like,
it's already green lit. The project's already in full swing. The Florida government's not going to get involved with that. And then for how many times, even though yes, I we always say here on the channel, vote with your wallet. If you have an opinion, if you want to go for something, go for it. But if you're consistently keep on resending the same thing to the same outlet, if I send like over 100 letters, just me alone, of the same thing, trying for the same cause to change it, chances are it's not enough to get something changed.
Well, yeah, you have to have a little bit of some like sort of social awareness with this stuff. Like, I think the window for this thing has been closed, in my opinion, right? And if you want to send that 14th email, go ahead. It's on you. But like for me, I think Disney's already made the decision, in my opinion. And if you want to keep sending emails, fine, do your thing, dude. It's up to you. I'm not saying anyone has to stop, as long as you're being civil and respectful. But like, yeah, I mean, there has to be a point where you're like, you know what? Yeah, it's happening, right? Like the Save Splash Mountain people were kind of doing this. Like, I mean, they were literally like jackhammers.
Well, they're still doing it. Some are saying that.
They still said they were still open the day that Tiana's opened. They're like, there's still time to save Splash Mountain.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, come on. You have to kind of figure out, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. You can express yourself. I'm not saying people can't express themselves. You absolutely should let the company know you're not happy with it. That's fine. But you also have to have like the social intelligence to know, hey, look, you know what?
The expectation may not be to what the final outcome is going to be to your favor.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like it's the ship has sailed.
And again, gotta ping on Disney here again because in the past couple of weeks they announced they're gonna do like this progress on the live action Tangled, which sounds pretty cool. Then also in the past couple of weeks they announced they're canceling the Tiana series, and what do you know? That entire day, oh man, this was for nothing. This ride for nothing. Tiana's Body Adventure for nothing. We got rid of Splash Mountain for nothing all day long. So it's another time where Disney would fuel the fire by canceling it for some reason.
I don't know about that part. Like
canceling the series, like come on, like, and then you're gonna move forward with another one. Like come on.
Well, what they should have done is because with Moana they canceled the show to make it
and made a movie.
Right, make it a sequel to Princess and the Frog, and I think it would do very well.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the hand-drawn animation, if they kept it the same way, that would have been great. Everyone wants that, so I don't know why they canceled. But
that was the biggest disappointment that I've heard.
Boneheaded move.
Yeah, because they had a huge like panel thing in D23 Expo with the Tiana. And a lot of our friends were very excited of seeing that because because with the whole like the Tiana's Bayou Adventure being linked to it, and then a lot to have a sequel with Tiana's what happened to her after the story of that. I was very excited about it, even if it's like a small TV show or something like that. I thought this might bring out some people who always loved Tiana. I know one of my friends' daughter, she loves Tiana, and she's Korean and everything. She loves Tiana more than any other princesses, and she was looking forward to it. I just like about a week ago, I kind of like dropped the ball on to this like 8-year-old kid. I said, there's not going to be a Tiana show. I'm sorry, and she was like very upset, and like to hear that, like that part, I was like, Disney, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you, Lucas. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, maybe like the Disney Plus stuff is falling out of favor for them. They're kind of rethinking their approach with that stuff. That's fine. Make a theatrical sequel that it will do very well.
Yeah, so that's what it is. They're doing a damage control, right. But the issue about this damage control is that it's too obvious damage control that like that a lot of people are they know that a lot of people are very mad at it, and they're taking the L for it, and I think they know about it too. So
this is what Disney did wrong under the circumstances of why they were creating the series in the first place. Was their downfall right out the gate. They were only the series because it was to help guide the storyline of what Tiana's Bayou Adventure was all about. And I feel like by them doing that approach, that's what hurt it, because then once the ride is out, and everyone's riding it, and it's like no one really is focused on the storyline of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's a great ride. I absolutely love it. But I feel like there was no real investment as moving forward. So Disney's like, okay, why are we spending the time and the money on creating this where people may not seem like they're fully into it? I wish that Disney would have wanted to do a Tiana series because they want to rejuvenize her character as the princess. Don't tie it into, oh, we have to make this so the attraction makes sense. I feel like, and honestly, that's the route that they went wrong.
They should have made, because they made the announcement in 2020 for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It opened in 2024 and 2023. I mean, they should have started developing the series. Like, they should have had the series out like well before the ride, and then it would have gave Tiana's bad bitch a storyline. So then, because I know that was a common complaint, oh, there's not really anything going on here. Well, if you had a series that was out like a year before the attraction opened, then you have someone to base the ride off of. It actually really could help the ride and also the series. So yeah, I think that they kind of really messed that whole situation up all the way from 2020 when it was first announced.
Yeah, 100% agree, Wizard. 100% agree. Yeah, there was a lot of, that announcement was really disappointing the other day. If they want to cancel the series, fine, but make it a theatrical. Go ahead.
Even Anika Noni Rose, took to social media and even said of how disappointed that she was looking forward to continuing on with Tiana and everything, and what a disappointment that was for her, to be tied to a project that you were being promised. She's going off saying like, oh yeah, look out for it, we got a lot of things coming, from the Bayou and everything, and then she gets this news that it just suddenly dropped. I mean, I get it, that's the business and everything, but
Right.
I think Disney definitely dropped the ball on
And
for sure.
like image wise, it looks like kind of like bad too, because it seems like Disney, that plus the recent DEI stuff they're doing, it seems like they're kind of catering to those like far right people with the shuffling the DEI stuff, and then the Tiana series, like, oh man, okay, that's like, okay, now they're kind of giving in and trying to get some, it seems like they're like,
that's what I'm saying. It's making it seem like that they were only doing the series just to cater for the notion of doing the attraction. Because you're right, Wizard, with the removal of the DEI stuff and everything, and then suddenly they're canceling the Tiana series.
Like very bad public image. Again, PR. Again with the PR team.
It's PR, exactly, and they might be canceling it for financial reasons exclusively for that, and not only. But you're right, Wizard. The optics is like when you announce the cancellation of the series just weeks after the DEI stuff. Like, come on, Disney.
And
like,
then you have the, I think one of those director or someone from Tangled confirmed they're moving forward that one again, and that's a white princess, and again very not good looking there.
It just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. They all may have different reasons why Rapunzel got greenlit, why Tiana's got axed. But yeah, just the timing of everything, the way that they're handling it, it's bad publicity. It just doesn't look great.
I mean, as of right now, Disney is like going through a lot of bad publicity and the damage control right now. That goes the same for the Snow White, and that goes to the same.
The Snow White. That's
and then
next week.
And then the TV show Win or Lose is also another that became a little bit of outspark.
Oh my gosh, that thing, they've been dragging that thing out for God knows how long.
Yeah, why did that take so long to come out?
I've been hearing about that series since like D23 2022. And it's like, I don't know.
It just ended yesterday. The series ended yesterday. Basically, the controversy was about the character Kai. She was originally concepted as a transgender, and then they changed it at the last moment, like completely hiding the identifying as a transgender and everything. So that sparked a lot of transgender community a lot right there. So when they were promoting this on X right there, Disney got some backlash. Pixar and Disney got backlashes because they were hiding the replies for transgender communities, like respond, posting about their comments right there. So,
and see, that's another thing. Back to the PR. I know Disney seems to be like one of the only studios likes to like announce these things. Now they not only do they announce the rides way in advance, but they announce if someone's black or gay or transgender before the series up. Just let the series premiere and let it happen. Don't make it a mass thing. It's just there's a transgender character. Great. Agreed. Just let it happen. Universal doesn't announce that they're changing Astra to a black character. Just the trailer appeared and that's what's happening, or like a casting leak. But Disney has to stop announcing things way in advance, because again, it invites all the haters to come on in, tack. Just premiere, just again talk about Win or Lose, like what's it about. Don't even talk about any of the characters. What's it about? Show a trailer, and then boom, then people
Right.
make
Yeah,
the
it's like they
judgment.
have to
Don't
put a
announce it.
spotlight on certain things, like, oh, this
Mhm.
will hold the very first transgender character, or
Exactly.
this. It's like, yeah, don't like get into all of that, because eventually down the road, if you have to change something in production, then that makes bad show on
Mhm.
you. You know, it's like,
Yeah, and then if they don't announce in the first place, they probably wouldn't have to change anything because no one would know until like again the episode premieres, and then just like there you go, look great represent like this is a good character. Now also when they do this, they have to make the characters like good, because sometimes especially like Star Wars, cool they had a black Finn. It seemed like Finn was supposed to be a Jedi. I was confused. Guess he wasn't, but.
Oh my
Finn
god.
was like a black Jedi, how cool! But then they just treated him so badly, Then poor Kelly Marie Tran,
Oh,
got
man.
bullied off social media, So all these things, like Disney's really got to help their talent, If they're going to promote these things, they got to help them out a little bit, not set them up for failure.
Well said, Wizard. Well said. Beautifully said. Yeah, you don't want to announce the stuff. You want to show, don't tell, right? And I think that's kind of like the thing. You don't want to sit there and go, the first trans, this, that, right? You just want to kind of like do it. Like you have the trans character, and that's part that's part of normalizing this stuff. Like where if you sit there and you make a big to do about it, I don't know. It cheapens it. I think. Like just have the trans character, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you announce it in advance, you make a big fuss. Then it looks like Disney's trying to win over, like they're trying to get like approval. Like do the inclusionary thing, organically. And respectfully, you know what I'm saying? And I think you're fine. But when you announce it, then it looks like you're doing it for like PR reasons. You know what I'm saying? It looks bad. Really, really bad.
Here's what it is. Like when you're making an announcement something, like just very be subtle about what you're presenting, and then let the audience decide on how they let them be the perspective of how they portray that character as like. And I think the biggest the reason why Inside Out 2 was very successful is because we audience ourselves determine if the Riley is she's either single, if she's either straight, or if she's either lesbian, or if she's asexual. That's our viewers' determination. Without
And it's also important with that movie there. The whole story didn't even focus on that. Like I said,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like when you're presenting,
oh my gosh, in your face, Riley's gay. Like maybe she is, maybe she isn't, but that's not the story.
Yeah. So like don't let the actors, don't let the directors like explain what kind of character this character is. Just present it, and then let the audience decide on how that character is gonna be.
Exactly. Like right now we're watching Bridgerton on Netflix, and there's characters of all types on there: black, white, Hispanic, and gay, straight. But they're not like saying, "Hey, I'm gay" or "I'm black." It just happens. Okay, this person has a boyfriend, or now this person has a girlfriend. Like it's not part of the story. It's a different story, and then that's just the character, and it's not like in your face, but. That doesn't work. People don't like that. I think they just want. It's not like they don't like those characters. They don't like the way they're being presented, and by said company.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not going to say, hey, I got my first gay co-host for the Italiano. I just have him on.
I was actually going to say, it's I'm not going to say that I'm 5'7" standing up, but 6 foot laying down. I don't need to say
there it is. Exactly. You don't announce that stuff. You do not announce it. But Wizard, Lucas, George, always a good time. I had a blast with you all today, gentlemen. George, I will start with you. If you can let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky under the Disney Italiano. And of course, you can find me right here on my home base on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
There he is. And what happened to Citrico Central?
Oh yes, and definitely.
He
Yeah.
got his own channel.
And if you'd like to check out also my new YouTube channel, Citrico Central, sister channel to Orange Grove 55.
There you go. And Citrico Central is more in-park vloggy stuff. So
Yes, I will be making an appearance in the studio tour video whenever that one appears, or the Fast and Furious one. Hopefully, unless you cut me out.
You better not cut him out, bro. You better not cut him out of that. You better not cut him out. Wizard will
The
be
only thing that needs snipped is the Rivers of America. That's all.
Exactly.
Don't abandon family, man.
You don't abandon family. Exactly.
Right.
I'm going to send you an email about that Rose of America cut, George. So look out for that email. Okay. On the way. Wizard, if you got everybody where they can find you on social media and where they can book an amazing epic universe vacation with you down below.
You can find me at Theme Park Wizard everywhere on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, Park Wizard 1 on Twitter. And then you can book your trip with me on all of those services via DM, or you can email me at ebecker@windsintheeasttravel.com, and we can get your trip to Epic Universe Fan Fest nights, Disneyland 7th anniversary, Tokyo Disney Sea, and much more.
There he is. I'm booking my trip. On Friday for Fan Fest with this guy right here. Mr. Lucas, last but certainly not least, we love you, brother. If you can let everybody home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Okay, you can find me on X or Blue Sky under the name It's Lucas Kim. You can always find me there, and then also find me on YouTube as Lucas and Disney, or you can also find me on Twitch as Lucas Kim Channel, where I play a bunch of other video games, and you can say hello to me.
There he is. Everybody, thank you for watching this episode of OG55. Comment down below with all your thoughts on everything we discussed today. We would love to hear from you. And as always, have a great, magical, amazing, fantastic day.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.